Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Thursday, September the 27th, 2012, and I've got a ton of buy signals out there, so let me just pick out a few of them for you. As you guys know, you can see all my charts, my personal charts, on the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. And I'll show you guys that in a bit, but the main thing is anything that I don't cover here that you're wondering, hey, does he like this one as well or something like that, you can go to the website and check it out for yourself. I'll cover a few of them today and we'll see what we can get, okay? Like I said, looking at the AORD here, and you can see this is one we talked about in the past. Told you we wanted to watch this one. He had this move to the upside here, finding resistance, and it's a nice little consolidation period that ended up forming a little cup situation. This is something we've been seeing a lot of, very bullish chart formation. Up to the previous resistance point there, actually broke through it, then started to pull back down, forming that handle. And we told you watch this for a reversal, and we see that is happening today. So that would be a buy immediately with the stop set off of today's low, 1 cent below that point. You also notice that pullback came right next to that old 50-day or 50-period moving average right here. That's typically where you find support when you're in an uptrend. Okay, you've got support there, you've got support here, you've got support again here. This is a good opportunity. Gold and silver both came alive today. I could actually issue an alert on it. I see the hammer candlestick formation. I see the confirmation today, the higher high and higher low. However, I will wait until we get a confirmation of closing above this point here. You can see that happen on silver or gold. That's the main thing I want to see here. We are up to that line. We have a higher close today than we had in the past, so someone could argue it's already there. But just to be on the safe side, let's wait for confirmation. When closed higher than this little black line I've drawn right here, when closed above that, you can buy immediately and continue to expect this to continue to move higher. She'll be advancing off this support that she's been forming for a while now. So that's an important trade there. The EWJ, or the Japan iShares, talked about this, I believe it was yesterday, told you to watch for the close, the breakout above that channel right there, that little channel resistance point. That happened today. You could have been a buyer there, or a buyer tomorrow with the stop set at the 920 point, 1 cent below yesterday's low, 921, so your stop will be 920, looking for a test of the previous high. And actually, I'm looking at this as being the first leg to the upside consolidation period, and I look for another one of these coming out this way. Naturally, I'm going to have to recommend the NASDAQ here as well. It's something you definitely want to be looking at if you're not finding a way or you don't like the idea of trading the actual average. You may be looking for individual companies within the average which make up the average, so that would make sense as well. This, again, is something I'm going to like and market as something I would be a buyer here. And I didn't do that on the, someone's going to ask me, so I might as well tell you. I didn't do it on the the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The reason for that is that I don't see the pullback as big as in the situation that we had before us here. So sometimes when I'll bypass a certain chart here and there, yes, I could recommend that or could mark it as being a buy as well as this one, but I'm just being more picky, more selective here. I can always have something I can add later. Right now, like I said, I would do this one here. I see the hammer candlestick the day before, confirmation today. Stop will be set off of this candlestick's low, yesterday's low, and that would be the move to the upside. All we did basically, we come up here, we advanced up here, formed a little consolidation period, advanced off of that, pulled back to it, and then we're bouncing off of that again, moving higher. That means you're not going lower than this point, you're going up to test this point and probably higher. Looking now at the XOI oil index chart here, you will see that I am again marking this one as a buy as well. Multiple reasons. Number one, look at the 50-day moving average, find support on it when you're in an uptrend. Found it here, 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 and now you pull back close to it again here. Again, you're also in a very clearly defined uptrend. You have higher highs and higher lows, and there's no question in this direction. You need to only be asking yourself, when do I buy? So now I think would be a good time. Now, someone's going to ask me, why would you buy this? There's no hammer candlestick here. That's a good point. There's two things. Number one, I know there should be a bottom in this area because you've got the ultimate oscillator down around the 30 point, bouncing off of that point. Number two, you're in an uptrend. Number three, even though you don't have a single candlestick that's telling you a hammer formation like you had over here, if you do what's called blending, where you take two or more candlesticks and you blend them together to see what they would tell you if it was all one candlestick formation, you in fact see a hammer candlestick formation. A hammer candlestick simply says that price activity intraday went down, and then intraday the bulls came back and drove it back up, and then you had a higher point than you had to begin with. So you end up with that little hammer looking formation. Looks like that, right? Okay, really bad art class for you guys. Well, basically that's the exact same thing. We had one day that went down, the next day came back up and went higher. So it's in effect the same exact thing as a hammer candlestick. So I'd set the low of yesterday as my stop. 1 cent below that would be my stop loss limit, looking for this to test the previous high. I believe it was also yesterday we talked about the UUP, and I told you I would actually be looking for this to break to the downside when the market started breaking to the upside. I said it closed below this actual downtrend line right here would be the confirmation you're looking for, and you just got that today, so there you go. We can actually short this guy with the stop off this high point here. Yesterday's candlestick formation we talked about as well, the shooting star signal there, looking for this to continue to move lower. The Russell 2000 Small Cap Index is another great opportunity. We've talked about this one in the past several different times. This is a very bullish chart. We've talked about this being basically it's the same thing as the Australian market chart I showed you earlier. You got a nice hammer, not hammer, formation here, bullish formation. We had this cup with handle situation. There's the cup, and it comes down, forms a little handle right here, and then we had a breakout right there. We talked about that when it happened. Told you to buy whenever that happened, and that's what happened. She goes up, she pulls back down. All she did was really consolidate for a little bit. Now she's reversing back to the upside. Again, not a great looking hammer formation, but if I blend these two candlesticks together, wha-bam, there we go. Also, ultimate oscillator down, bouncing off the 30 line. All these things tell us to look for a bounce to the upside. Wilshire 4500, this is something that I actually don't typically track. I should say this. I track it all the time. I just every now and then mention it. I don't actually keep it on the website for you guys because it's not something that I personally do that for you guys. But I have enough charts to keep track of. But this one I actually keep an eye on because of our friends over there at tspcenter.com. Those guys, I know that they trade this, and so every now and then we toss them a bone, tell them, hey, we think this or we think that. This time I think we've recommended, or not recommended, we've mentioned this 3 different times. There was the major crash that we saw coming. We expected the support where it was at. We talked about that when it was head and shoulders formation. We also talked about this. We mentioned it whenever you were forming the bullish condition of the cup with handle on the Russell. We talked about this also doing the same exact thing, and that's basically an easy trade there. Now we're seeing this as another situation that we'd like as well for one particular reason. You're still in the overall uptrend. You've had this major move here. We talked about you would able to measure that distance out based on this distance here. You just do the math here and you get an idea of how high you expect price to go. That happened. And you pull back here. Now you've got a really nice pullback basically to previous support. This is where the previous support area was at, the zone right there. You had a little consolidation there. You got the confluence of the 50-period moving average. You've also got the oversold condition, the ultimate oscillator. All these conditions, including the hammer candlestick, including the confirmation of that today, that's an awesome buy signal with a great signal up here telling you look for a test of that high. And you'll notice there's no inverted hammer here, which means this isn't really a resistance point. So all you did was you run up over here and you get overextended. People say let's take some gains, and you pull back down, and now we're going up here, test it again, and we can easily actually blow through that. So this is a good trade right here. That's just something I wanted to bring to you guys' attention over there at TSP Center, or anybody else who may be actually trading this, and now you know. Okay, let's see what else I want to tell you guys. Oh yeah, go to the website because I said so. It's right there, perfectstockalert.com. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.